about this? Coaches, executives, they have taken a poll on their top 10 quarterbacks entering the 2024 NFL season. And outside of Patrick Mahomes being number one, there's a lot of conversation about this list.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes being number one made it that was feels like a no-brainer. Dude's won back-to-back Super Bowls, trying for three in a row, although the Chiefs are like making it really hard on themselves for some reason with all these arrests and legal issues and whatnot. But nonetheless, yeah. And then I think they got it right at number 2 with Joe Burrow, because Burrow's been the one that I think has pushed Patrick Mahomes the most in terms of just the AFC. Because, yeah, Josh Allen had that great back and forth with Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round, but Josh Allen has yet to beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
I believe Joe Burrow is the only AFC quarterback to ever beat Mahomes in a playoff game. Well, maybe Brady did Mahomes' his first year starting in the AFC Championship game. But active players, it's been only Burrow.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring up Josh Allen because he's number 3 on the list. I think that's too high for Josh Allen. And I'll tell you why. Because this brings up my whole wide receiver skill position player argument that I constantly make. Before Stephon Diggs got traded to Buffalo, did we really hear anything about Josh Allen?
You should have been. It was a mistake. Josh Allen was playing very good football. He was on his way to being a top 10 quarterback. He was the most underlooked quarterback in that 2018 draft.
But he didn't live up to his potential of being.
Yeah, he did.
No, until he got. I would say he didn't live up to his hype until he got Stephon Diggs.
Well, I would disagree with that.
Why? I didn't.
Josh Allen was ascending before they got Diggs. The reason why they went out and got Diggs. So then he could ascend even further. He was top 10-ish until they got Diggs. Then he turned into a top 5 quarterback for a few years.
I would say he really hit his stride once he got Stephon Diggs.
Well, most quarterbacks do. When you're on a rookie deal, that's what you do. I mean, you can't not. Mahomes did it. Mahomes had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and they had other weapons in there the first couple of years of his career.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why, I'm glad they didn't put Brock Purdy in this top 10 is because I feel like Brock Purdy is a product of the pieces around him. I don't know. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this: if you're going to take out Allen at 3, who you got to replace it?
Lamar Jackson.
No, Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson has won MVP twice. He's been to the AFC Championship game.
So has Josh Allen, and guess who beat him head-to-head in the playoff game? Josh Allen did. Josh Allen has had more success, I would argue. I think it's very similar. And Lamar may have he has 2 more regular season MVPs. So I understand that argument. But when it comes to a quarterback that you trust late with the game on the line, I'm taking Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson because, by the way, Allen's been more healthy.
Okay, I like this pick. And Grandizer agrees with me. Josh Rosen was
Josh Rosen was not considered the most NFL QB ready in that draft. That is false. That was Sam Darnold, who was considered the most NFL QB ready. And I told everybody who would listen to me that Josh Rosen was a bust and that Josh Allen would be the best quarterback coming out of this class because you don't draft he's the most ready. He's been in the pro system. You draft on potential, and Josh Rosen did not have the drive to play in the National Football League, and neither did Sam Darnold. I told people Sam Darnold was going to be a backup. I told people Josh Allen was going to be a star. And so bottom line is, no, that's incorrect. I'm sorry.
Yes, and Grandizer, thank you for helping me make my point. Josh Allen did struggle in his first 2 years, and no one crowned him until he got until he got on the same page as Brian Dable.
Okay, but
And
again, Brady, Ed Belichick, Mahomes, and Andy Reid, all-star quarterbacks have great coaches.
I'm not dismissing that. What makes you think I'm just dismissing the coaches?
You act like Josh Allen was the biggest bum in the world his first 2 years of his career.
No, I didn't say that. I never said he was a bust, but he wasn't living up to what the standards that we were holding him to. Not until he got Stephon Diggs and he got on the same page.
There was no standards. Buffalo was in the basement for 20 years.
But then once they got Josh Allen,
No. Nobody thought that because nobody but me thought Josh Allen was a good quarterback. Remember, there were
exactly my point.
There was people saying Josh Allen should start for the first 2 years of his career. Remember that conversation?
Exactly my point. You just made my point for me.
By the way, the same people said Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver.
Okay, that part I didn't agree with. I saw what Lamar did at Louisville. He won a Heisman Trophy as a quarterback, and he has proven himself to be a great quarterback. Hell, he's won 2 MVPs.
I would just take Josh Allen over Lamar. I think it's close, but I would take Josh Allen.
I'm taking Lamar. Okay, what are some of your other gripes with the top 10? Or do you not?
Well, for starters, I think Dak being in the top 10 is, to be honest with you, probably a little low.
You think
I think he should be up.
Really?
I think Dak should probably be about top 7 or top 8.
Who would you move him ahead of?
Well, Trevor Lawrence is not a top 10 quarterback. Let's start there. Right now, Trevor Lawrence is not a top 10 quarterback.
No.
I think he's ahead of Matthew Stafford. I'm not the biggest Matthew Stafford fan. You know it. I've told you this for 2 years. I know he won a Super Bowl in LA. I've never been the biggest fan of Matthew Stafford. So there's 2 right there I would move Dak ahead of. Aaron Rodgers, I would move Dak ahead of. Absolutely. Aaron's 40. He hasn't had a good season in 3 years. He's coming off a torn ACL. Dak bounced off his torn ACL and put up MVP-like numbers.
Okay. I would consider moving him ahead of Aaron Rodgers. I didn't see Trevor Lawrence anywhere on the list, so I'm fine with that. I would not put Dak ahead of Matthew Stafford as of right now.
By the way, I have Dak ahead of Herbert, too. What has Herbert done?
That I'm okay with. I am totally cool with that because I don't know what the Chargers are doing with Justin Herbert right now.
I know what they're doing. They're going to win 11 games and be competitive with Kansas City in that AFC West. I know exactly what the Chargers are doing. Herbert's going to have the best year of his career this year.
So, but here's my question. I know it was only 10 games, but didn't a certain quarterback replace Aaron Rodgers, go into Dallas?
Oh, stop it.
Beat the Cowboys. And
I know you're all in on Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's going to regress this year.
Hell no. Are you kidding?
What makes us think? Again, I keep telling you this, Josh. We have a 7-game sample size of Jordan Love being a good quarterback. For 8 games, his coach told him he couldn't play. At Halloween, we kept saying Jordan Love is a bust. How did he go from at Halloween he was a bust to being a top 3 quarterback the rest of the year? I don't know. But he's not a top 10 quarterback now.
Yes, he is. Are you kidding me?
At the end of the year, he played like that, but I got to get more data. I got to see him now in a full year in a tougher division, by the way.
Green Bay. You think Green Bay's going to regress that
much? Yes,
I
think Green Bay's going to be in 3rd place this year.
Okay, so you have Detroit winning the division.
And I have Chicago absolutely making the wild card. Absolutely. They upgraded the most out of any team this whole offseason. They won 7 games last year with a quarterback who got wars throughout the game and is in Pittsburgh backing up a guy that can't play quarterback anymore. And they upgraded a number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver, running back. They still have a top 10 defense. The Bears are going to be very good.
Not better than the Packers. Packers?
Yes, they are. They will at least be on the same level. I think they could be a game or two better. I absolutely could see that.
I have Green Bay right hanging right there, and with
By
the
the way, the Bears have what, a third or fourth place schedule? Green Bay's got a second place schedule. Advantage Chicago.
okay, but Green Bay. Did you not see how Green Bay came within a quarter of beating San
And
Francisco?
guess what? In the National Football League, progression is not linear. This is not baseball. This is not basketball. Teams go from we think they're going to be Super Bowl contenders to falling off a cliff.
So, do you see that happening with the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud?
I'm saying they could regress. They could win 10 or 9 games and not be the favorite in the South if Anthony Richardson improves in year 2. I think Lawrence is going to have a bounce back year. Again, not up 10, but maybe somewhere around there. And their division is harder. Yes, I could see that.
So, CJ Stroud is number 7 on this list. Do you think that's too high, too low? What do you think?
I think it might be a little too high. I think a 1 year, again, I think he was great. I think he was top 10 last year. I think he's probably 10 right now.
What? Are you
Yeah.
rookie?
I'll take Jared Goff over CJ Stroud. I'll take my guy Jalen Hurts over CJ Stroud. I would take Stroud probably, if I had to go for my head, yeah, I think Stroud's probably about 10.
I totally agree with Grandizer on this.
Yeah,
You are
I am projecting. That's what I do with the media. You guys are afraid to put your freaking takes out there. Yeah, I am going off hope. You know why? Because I've seen teams that come into the year off hope. And by the way, there's teams that people predict to go 4th place in their division and they go on to win the Super Bowl. Yes, that's what I'm doing.
you again.
Do you
Just
not
like
know how sports media works? This is my job.
the Packers proved they were a great team. Yes.
Did they prove it? I
Yes!
don't know. They look like it, but this is the 2024 Packers. That was the 2023 Packers.
They made additions, not subtractions.
What addition did they make? You want to go ahead and tell me? Oh, Josh Jacobs. He's a downgrade, in my opinion, from Aaron Jones.
Okay. Jordan Love, gets another year in Matt LaFleur's offense. He gets another year to develop chemistry with the likes
And he gets a better Bears team, and he gets a better Lions team. And by the way, the Vikings have weapons freaking everywhere.
I still trust the Packers.
Well, you could listen. I'm not saying they're going to be a bad team. I'm just saying
it certainly sounds like that's what you're saying.
Some people have them as Super Bowl contenders. I'm saying they're somewhere between 8 and 10 wins, not 10 to 12. They're going to be good. They're not going to be great.
Yeah. You are insane.
Some people have them winning the division over Detroit, which I think is insane. Detroit, I think may have the first or second best roster in the whole league next to San Francisco.
I'm not ready to say the Packers are going to jump the Lions to win the division, but the Packers are better than the Lions. Or I'm sorry, I did not mean to say that. I meant to say the Packers are better than the Bears. There we go. I meant to say the Packers are better than the Bears.
Think it's close.
Green Bay will be in the playoffs again. Chicago will miss out again. And Green Bay will continue to own Chicago, as they always do.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Again, this is why in 2 weeks or whatever, we're going to preview the NFL season. I cannot wait.
Yes. Why is Aaron Rodgers a top 10 quarterback right now? Somebody tell me.
You tell me.
I genuinely don't know. What did he play? Oh, right. 4 snaps. And then the Jets season went boo, completely down the drain.
By the way, the Jets won 7 games last year without a quarterback. So you guys are saying I've been saying the Bears aren't going to be improved. The Jets didn't have a quarterback. In my opinion, Chicago didn't have a quarterback last year, and the Bears' offensive upgrades are better than the Jets.
That I can agree with, because the Jets signed players that are tend to get injured. I do. Maybe they're going to turn MetLife Stadium into an infirmary. I don't get it. But
I don't know. When it comes to Aaron being a top 10 quarterback, I don't know. Off the
so
top off the
so
top of my head, Mahomes, Allen, Stroud, Lamar, Lawrence, Ertz, Goff. I'll even throw Love in there. I actually think Caleb Williams right now, without playing a snap in the NFL, is better than Aaron Rodgers. There, I said it.
okay. I will entertain that. I will definitely entertain that. I'm not sure I'm fully ready to agree with you on that, but I will entertain that.
By the way, that's what 10 right there. Dak, I think, is a better quarterback than Rodgers right now. Stafford certainly is. You could make an argument, I think, for Kyler Murray. I don't know. I think it's close. I think Kyler's a forgotten quarterback. I think Kyler's very good when he was healthy last year at the end of the year.
That's the problem with Kyler, though, is he has too much injury
Well, but isn't
prone.
that the problem with guys like Burrow? I mean, that's why, and I agree, Burrow is probably the second best quarterback in football, but one more injury, and Burrow's going to have to, Cincinnati might have to think about drafting a quarterback. And by the way, I don't think that's nuts to say.
It. I don't think so either. You think about it, he's already had a wrist injury. He's already had,
Torn ACL, he had a calf injury.
yeah.
But if this is going to be Burrow, do you realize this is going to be Burrow's first healthy training camp he's had since he walked into the league his rookie year?
That's crazy, actually.
2020, he's coming off the torn Achilles. The year they made the Super Bowl, when he went back to camp, I don't know if you remember, he had an abdominal tear. Didn't play in the preseason, got injured in training camp, didn't have a lot of snaps. Last year was obviously the wrist and the calf injury. So, Burrow, a healthy training camp.
It's going to be interesting with Cincinnati, though, because they haven't gotten a contract extension done with Jamar Chase yet. So,
they drafted the receiver out of Bama in the first round. I think they're just going to put all their eggs in one basket and go for it this year.
They kind of have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because if the Bengals don't get it done this season, I don't know when they could get it done. And you could argue Cincinnati's or the AFC's best chance really to knock off Kansas City was last year when the Chiefs had all their, wide receiver troubles. We originally had this in the rundown, but we cut it out. But I'll just bring it up. Did you see the Twitter video over the weekend of Patrick Mahomes making that crazy pass to Xavier Worthy?
I did not.
It was nuts. He was like going on the run, like got forced out of the pocket, throwing it on the run. Xavier Worthy just goes, "Yeah, I got it," and I'm just like, "Oh God, we have our new version of Tyreek Hill." I mean, how is anybody going to stop this Kansas City offense now? You've got Travis Kelce, who is arguably the greatest tight end of all time.
I don't think it's an argument now. I think he is.
Okay. Then you've got speed on one side with Hollywood Brown. And then what did the Chiefs do? They trade up with the Buffalo Bills, which that's never hurt the Bills in the past. And they go get the fastest wide receiver in the draft in Xavier Worthy. Yeah. Good luck, AFC.